What's going on, Sagittarius? How are you doing? Hope you're doing super well. This is the Autistic Mystic, and this is your reading for April 15th to the 30th, 2024. So in this reading, we're going to take a look at your overall general energy, some things you do not see coming, and also get some advice from your angels and spirit guides for you regarding April 15th to the 30th, 2024. So I really appreciate all of you for taking the time to check this reading out as always. But without further ado, I'm now going to pull the energy for you, and we will see what is coming your way, Sagittarius. As always, I would like to thank the angels, the interdimensional beings, and the spirit guides who are overseeing this act of divination for the sign of Sagittarius. I'm in a mood again. All right, Sagittarius. So, yeah, really interesting energy that you got going on here for sure. And it's almost like I don't know how to say it to you, but I do. So before we get into the tarot, let's go ahead and start this reading off with some pre-shuffled oracle cards. And these oracle cards represent the theme that Spirit wants you to be aware of for April 15th to the 30th. Okay, so let me show you them in successive order, and then we'll get into it. The first one is the 7th house of love and partnership. And this is the Libra house, which rules all of your one-to-one relationships. So relationships are definitely highlighted. You also have Chiron, which represents your deepest wound, but also an alternative path towards healing. Chiron was the maverick, like the half man, half horse who was rejected at birth, but ultimately learned to do things their own way. But it does represent your deepest wound coming to the surface here, or a deep wound that you have. And then you also have Leo, which is the extrovert, you know, the fun one, the talkative one, the loving one, you know, the fiery one. And so with this right off the bat, I just have to be honest with what I'm getting. Some of you are, you know, there's a deep wound coming up for you to be aware of that in a lot of your one-to-one relationships, it's almost like you have this fake extroversion where you may say things to people that you don't really mean just because you want to keep it jovial and fun. For others of you, it's going to be, and use your intuition. For others of you, it's going to be the opposite, where you may be in a hermit mode where you're not connecting to others in an intimate way. But in either way, I feel like there's a lack of intimacy here. But for most of you out there, there's like a false chumminess that I'm sensing that is going to lead to a tower moment, because it's coming from a place of avoidance and resistance. So let's put it this way. And for some of you, this could be someone that's around you that you're sensing, if you know for sure it's not you. But if I was dealing with someone who had Chiron in Leo in the 7th house, or even just Chiron and Leo in their birth chart, I would be saying to them, your deepest wound has to do with being an extrovert. And it could have to do with someone who is just so extroverted that they don't even take time to check in with themselves. Or you could be someone that just wants to talk all the time, or like it's extroversion coming from a place that avoids or like sweeps issues under the rug. And this is not something to beat yourself up about. We all have negative patterns. If you gave me a reading, you would do the same thing for me. So there's nothing to be negative here. It's just all awareness, you know. And I do feel like there's this energy where for some of you there's people around you that you can't be your real self, and that's what this really comes down to. You could feel that you are dealing with a group that has certain like an emotional consciousness that they're not ready to handle the truth that you have. For some of you, though, your opportunity is to realize that you are somehow ignoring your own emotions and putting the betterment of the group that you're around first. And if it's not a group, then it could be a family, or it could be like one person. For many of you, I feel like it's a group. It could be people that you work with, or just friends or something here. And there's an opportunity for you to realize here for the 15th to the 30th that, like, in some sort of way, it's almost like you're aiding, you're causing more confusion than has to be there. So Chiron, Leo in the 7th house, I just get like there's an awareness of a false chum. You know what I mean? You could say things that you don't believe just to make it like a fun environment, you know? Or like someone could say something to you and like it completely goes against your morals and your ethics, and you're just like, oh yeah, I guess I could see it from that perspective. No, you don't. You know what I mean? And like, there is this energy in this reading about you not thinking about the long-term consequences of this behavior. You could think of it as something that's innocent, and it is to a certain extent, but maybe you're not realizing the consequences. Chiron, Leo in the 7th house is like, I'll just be, you know, and I don't even get that it's like a people, of course this is like a people pleaser vibe, but I get it, it's for your own benefit though. It's not that you're afraid of offending people. For most of you, I get this energy, Sagittarius, where it's not that you're like genuinely afraid to not be a people pleaser and state your opinion. It's not because you're afraid of anyone else. It's because you're afraid of what it would mean for you and what changes you would have to make if you were being real. So this is about you. I don't get that it's about other people. But with Chiron in the 7th house as well, last thing I'm going to say before we get into the tarot is that, you know, if I saw someone with Chiron in the 7th house and I was doing a birth chart reading for them, the first thing I would be saying is that you need to be careful that other people don't use you as a springboard for success. And there could be a group of people that are at this point, maybe not in the past, but at this point are benefiting from you much more than you are benefiting from them. And of course, it's not about being psycho about who's benefiting more from who, you know what I mean? We should be in unconditional love, but there comes a point where you can't be authentic in this space anymore. So that's what I really feel here, you know what I mean? There could be people benefiting from your energy, and they're benefiting from it because you are reinforcing their own behavior that you secretly don't want to be there. It's just what I really feel. So just take it or leave it. This is just what I'm getting. So it's almost like maybe you're not telling. It's like conflict delayed is conflict multiplied, but I feel like it has to do with you. So let's get into the tarot. Your opportunity, Sagittarius, you could be dealing with a Leo as well, someone who's very prideful. You know what I mean? You could be dealing with a wounded individual that has a lot of pride that you actually have compassion for, that you're just kind of like, you know what I mean? I don't know. But then in your opportunity here, you have the moon in reverse. And so I feel like there is something here. The first thing coming to my mind is there's an opportunity for you to realize that you may not be honoring your own emotions. This could have to do with you being confused unnecessarily as a result of this false chumminess adding up, is what I genuinely feel. The moon in reverse as well is that you could be dealing with a deep illusion, or it could be very hard for you to tap into the unknown and where life wants to take you at this time. For many of you, there's an opportunity here. With the moon in reverse here, it's a very interesting thing. I just get like some of you, your emotions are out of balance, or you also, for many of you, the false chumminess could go both ways. Many of you get psychic hits, emotional hits about how these people really feel about you, and you choose to be in the Leo extroversion. Oh, let's not like actually talk about how we feel about each other. Let's just go have a barbecue. You know what I mean? It's like there's like a double whammy of like both, whether there's a group or like if you're dealing with one person, like both parties could feel a certain way, and then like both of you are doing this false chumminess thing, honestly. And so it's like you're not realizing or someone is not realizing the long-term consequences of what this does. And the false chum will come back to you. You know, if you're false chummy with everyone, then you could like go to someone and like, hey, yo, let's just be real. But if the only energy you have been putting out in general is a false chum, then you might go to your therapist and they're false chum with you, because what you put out is what you get back. I know that's very hard for many of you to hear, and that's the moment where you click off the reading because you can't take the metaphysical precision. Like, you can't even believe how hard you can get into your shadow. And then, like, you have the 7 of Cups in your challenge, which is making a very difficult emotional choice is your challenge here. And the interesting thing is, like, this is all illusion as well. Like, this is like sorting through, like, is this way that I'm feeling an illusion or is it real? You know what I mean? You could also be dealing with people who have such a strong extroverted front about I feel like some of you are dealing with someone who has such a strong, like, front that you don't even know the real person you're dealing with. You think you know, or you even get psychic hits. Some of you do know, but like there's this like layers of illusion upon illusion that you're dealing with. And so I could understand why that would be very difficult to navigate if you're confused in the first place. I don't sense So let me show you why I'm saying this as well. In your overall general energy for the rest of April, man, I mean, you have the 3 of Cups in reverse, you have the Tower, and you have the 4 of Cups here. The 3 of Cups in reverse is social interaction gone wrong. It can be a celebration that is not appropriate. It can be you having a Tower moment of pleasure no longer working, friends that you try to escape the world with no longer working. Or there could be a Tower moment of a third party, of people talking crap behind your back. And this is what I feel now very deeply here as well, especially for those of you that this is a group that you're dealing with. For some of you, you're being blinded by the Leo, Chiron, 7th house extroverted front. But deep down, you know how these people really feel about you, or this person really feels about you. You know that like the real you is too much to handle. You know that the most authentic version of you is way too much for these people to handle. And so they choose, and that doesn't have to be an ego thing. It's just maybe you're not in alignment. Everyone is at a different phase of their journey. So it's not to make an enemy out of these people, even if they are talking crap behind your back. But the 3 of Swords to the Tower, the 3 of Cups in reverse to the Tower could be a negative third-party experience. I get that it could be false chumminess coming to an end, you distracting yourself with people coming to an end, you seeing it as an illusion of you avoiding your emotions. The Moon in reverse and your opportunity could be the opportunity is to confront your emotions instead of just being caught in delusion with the Leo extroverted people who make you feel good and part of a community, but it's all fake. Wow. And then you have the 4 of Cups, right? Which is about not taking the bait. It's about apathy. So I could see something that happens here that causes a rupture, that you are no longer able to interact with this person or this group in the same way that you could before as a result of a foundation being blown up or a moment of shock or awakening. So there, maybe like in like a week from now, there could be a real shock, or for some of you, timelines are fluid, so use your intuition, but clearly there's disconnection here. 3 of Cups in reverse, Tower to the 4 of Cups. That is an emotional disconnection or something emotional gone wrong that leads to a Tower moment. Now, the good news is that in what you don't see coming, it's time for you to become the alchemist and make the best out of the worst and turn salt into sugar. You know what I mean? Because this is really great. Things will turn around. You do have an opportunity to make the most out of this, because in what you don't see coming, you have the Wheel of Fortune, which has to do with a major opportunity and a portal, also your destiny. You have the Page of Swords, which is all about the brainiac of the tarot, getting more information, the stalker, someone who's very like, this person is just standing in a sword waiting to swing their sword. So it's like a very prudent energy. It's very vigilant energy rather. And then you have the 8 of Wands, which is about speed, travel, open communication. So I do feel as a result of a blow up, there will be a new opportunity opening up for you. It may be something that you have to remain on edge, or you have to question this new opportunity. For some of you, this has to do with a change to your destiny, though. And it has to do with you questioning, what is my destiny? Is this my destiny? Or is this in alignment with my highest good to remain surrounded by these people? For some of you, I feel that the answer will be no. For others of you, there will just have to be a readjustment to actually honor your emotions. And it doesn't have to necessarily represent a complete breakup, because the Tower is like a moment of shock, but there is no Ten of Swords here. There is no complete ending. So for some of you, I know that I'm making this seem like a nightmare, but there will be a balance that is brought, and maybe you get on the same page as this group or this person, and you actually do start to be real. Although for many of you, I sense that that's very challenging at this point, but it is possible, is what I feel. Either way, there's a new opportunity opening up for you. There could be an opportunity for you to really say how you feel with the Moon in reverse in your opportunity. But it may also be to be in control of your emotions and to be authentic at the same time. The Moon in reverse, and because you have all this emotional energy sandwiched with the Tower sandwiched in between it, right? 3 of Cups in reverse, 4 of Cups sandwiching, making an Oreo out of the Tower. I would say with the Moon in reverse, for some of you, make sure that you express your authenticity and your truth, or you allow someone to do this like in a way that is like conscious, because if you've been suppressing and it's like the fake Leo, 7th house, Chiron, false chum, extrovert, scum, then there might just be a blow up. You know what? You're fake this whole time. I know how you feel about me. I'm this way. We're not this. Or you're fake, phony, Leo extrovert. And everyone can see through it. So I don't know. I'm just like channeling. But, and then like there's definitely a false chum. And then in your advice, you have the Knight of Swords, the 5 of Swords, and the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. The first thing standing out to me is like, the advice is to really look at how you not thinking about the long-term consequences of your behavior is going to get you in big trouble here. Okay? This could have to do with a third party about you using people or someone using you. Like I said, Chiron in the 7th house, someone using you as a springboard to their success, you using someone as a springboard to your success. And it's all fake Leo chum scum. You know what I mean? And like, I'm not here to judge. Like, you have to do what you have to do to feed your family, or to like set yourself up to do that. I'm not like judging you here, but there's definitely something about like thinking through something. And the Queen of Pentacles in reverse in your advice as well could have to be something negative with money in relation to this. There could be people upset with you over money. You could be upset with someone over money. The advice is to maybe focus on how the quick actions that you take affects your money. For many of you, this will be the 3 of Cups in reverse is, you know, in some sort of way, it's not all the time, but like for the 15th to the 30th, like the idea of like, if you're only celebrating to escape something, then it is not a celebration, and it would indicate that partying is weakness for the soul. And like with the Page of Swords looking at the Wheel of Fortune, it's like really to question my soul at this time. And so make sure you're not doing anything just to get by in the physical, or to like optimize your physical life, or take the path of least resistance while simultaneously suppressing your emotions. Man, but it would all be nonsense. Couldn't read signs dead with one shot, but he can. The question is, okay, never mind. All right, let's clarify the 3 of Cups in reverse, first of all. Judgment. Whenever I get a duplicate, it means that what I'm saying is on point. There is hope to heal this, though. So, ironically, the 3 of Cups in reverse is clarified by the Judgment card, which is the ability to discern well, like literally someone making a judgment. It could also be Judgment Day. A behavior is no longer working, so like your consciousness is screaming at you. And the Three of Cups obviously has to do with the same situation with the Three of Cups. Something gone wrong in social interaction, a false chumminess, people talking crap behind your back. You may be aware of this at this time. You do have the Star though, which is about regeneration, wish fulfillment, and healing. And it's also about your future. So I do feel like whatever's going on there, it's not like a lost cause. Like you could heal this friend, you could easily correct whatever's going on here. I do feel like the Leo extrovert thing could be a front that everyone is doing here. Like everyone is ignoring their emotions, and if you just somehow like brought that to awareness and it's meant to be, then the real ones will work it out with you. You know what I mean? I really feel like there is an opportunity to get this right. It's just something needs to be readjusted big time. Let's clarify why the Tower is here. The Tower is clarified by the Ace of Swords, the Strength card. This is about clarity, and this is Leo energy. Literally. And this is about an end of a cycle. So for a lot of you, the Sword of Truth coming out, there is no more false Leo, fake extroversion, chum, scum, bum. It cannot operate anymore. Or even if it does operate, obviously you're Sagittarius, you like to talk, you like to kick it, you like to have a good time. Don't let Grandpa Saturn ruin your day right now. I'm just trying to make you, I don't know what your life is, I don't know how you're supposed to live, I don't care how you live. I'm just reading energy. And the first thing that I got is an end of a phase to the Leo thing. For many of you though, this Tower moment is going to lead to truth coming out and a major upgrade and people merging their animalistic self with their higher self. There's definitely a moment of shock. The truth comes out, the Sword of Truth, that everyone involved somehow, I actually feel, can recognize the split between how they're just being in their ego versus their higher self and like how to combine that. There is unconditional love here. Let's clarify why the Moon in reverse is in your opportunity. Ooh, yeah, the Moon in reverse is clarified by the Six of Wands, which has to do with public victory and getting attention for your achievements, also success and harmony. You also have the Nine of Wands and also the Hierophant here, which has to do with orthodoxy, tradition, commitment, and impersonal guidance. And the Nine of Wands has to do with unfinished business here. So the first thing coming to mind with the Moon in reverse is like you suppressing your emotions in order to get what you perceive to be victory, or in order for you to maintain the commitment that you are involved in and the status quo. The Hierophant could have to do with commitments that you're involved with on a one-to-one level that has a bit of orthodoxy to it. Doesn't surprise me with the 7th house Chiron Leo energy. And then you have this energy as well, unfinished business, something bubbling up to the surface. So I really feel like for many of you here, the number 6 has to do with harmony, and the Suit of Wands has to do with passion and fire. So there is an opportunity for you to really express how you feel, and it might be difficult, but it might lead to more commitment actually, you know, and you might be surprised by this reading. Now, it's not going to be that great for all of you. For many of you, this is like the frequency of, there's definitely an opportunity to get some sort of recognition and power. Like this is a very powerful frequency. Some of you may be like suppressing your emotions in order to maintain that front of power though, and that front of like everyone likes me, even though like you don't even like yourself deep down. Like everyone likes the fact that you're suppressing your emotions besides you. You know, so that goes back to the people pleaser thing. I don't think it's that simple though. So use your intuition based on that energy, okay? Now, some of you have been waiting to like some of you are going to draw on this experience to propel you to success as well. You know, like the Moon in reverse in your opportunity, clarified by the 6 of Wands, the Hierophant, and the 9 of Wands here, is like you could actually successfully work through this situation, and then offer impersonal guidance to people that need it. Because the Nine of Wands has to do with someone who's in need of healing, and the Hierophant is someone who offers that impersonal guidance. And you do have Chiron in the 7th house. So you could be someone that once you work through this relational issue, this shadow, you can speak about it. And you can actually create an opportunity out of it with what you don't see coming, the World, the Page of Swords, and the 8 of Wands. You can capitalize on this opportunity to be aware of what you learned from this experience, and then speak about it is what I really feel here. Okay. There was something else that I had to say, though, that was very important that kind of slipped by my mind. So, yeah, we'll just see if it comes back. But let's clarify the Wheel of Fortune then in what you don't see coming. There's definitely an opportunity to turn this around. Oh, for some of you, there's going to be an emotional spaz that leads to a public victory somehow. And maybe it's in a controlled way. But like, for example, like I find that like sometimes when my life is going really good and things are like stagnating, I don't always give my best readings. I'm someone who does better when my back's against a wall, which is my own shadow. So like literally when things are happening that I am not obliged to say on YouTube, I generally spaz the hell out and everyone loves my readings. It's like the idea of the wounded artist, you know, and that's a belief that I have had to work through, and maybe you are too, is that I can only create my art, or I can only succeed in my career as a result of things going wrong, and then me getting emotionally charged up and using that as a springboard to get you to success. You might have to work through the fact that your success is based on a wound, or the success that you plan on going towards is based on a wound. And all of us are like that to a certain degree. There is not one person that you see that is super successful that is there because their life was perfect. It's always going to come from a wound, so don't make an enemy out of it. I would just say become conscious of it, because with the moon in reverse and your opportunity, there could be something that you're doing to get success that is coming from an unconscious place in some sort of way. It could have to do with just the people pleaser, false chum scum, Leo. It could have to do with you only, or like you somehow capitalizing on this opportunity and creating your best work, or like doing the best job at, you know, channeling your anger or your confusion into your work and just like making it clear. It's like focusing on what you can control if everything else is out of alignment. I don't know. Let's clarify why the Wheel of Fortune is here for you. The Wheel of Fortune in your what you don't see coming is clarified by the Page of Pentacles in reverse and the Four of Cups here. That's really interesting here. The Four of Cups is also in your overall general energy. You may be surrounded by people who have zero interest in self-awareness and doing doing emotional dirty work, because the Four of Cups next to the Page of Pentacles would be having to do with something to do with emotional, you know, work that someone needs to do in the physical that they don't want to look at. And there could be an opportunity to realize that, you know, people are not going to change, and so then you have to change. Hold on. If the people around you are not willing to meet you halfway and put in the work, then that could unfortunately be for some of you what this Four of Cups is about twice. It's about like, this is not worth your time and energy anymore, Sagittarius, if you're generally interested in bettering yourself, which I know a lot of you are, but it's not enough for me to just say that. You still have to do what you have to do, because or else the chum, the scum will still be there. And, you know, so, yeah. And, okay. For some of you, though, there's going to be an opportunity to see that someone around you may be trying to consciously throw off your emotions, or like it makes someone comfortable. What am I trying to say here? There could also be this thing of springboarding and using as well. I'm sorry. But the Four of Cups here and the Page of Pentacles in reverse. The Page of Pentacles is someone who's like, they just do the dirty work, they're getting going. The Four of Cups is someone who's not emotionally involved. And the Wheel of Fortune is an opportunity for you to look at. The Page of Swords looking at it. The Eight of Wands also here to talk about it. And there may be a conversation that you need to have either with yourself or with these people or someone, that like, how do we genuinely create connection here? And how do we feel like we're not just like there's stress about the money or like we're using each other? Like I really feel like there's some sort of like Leo extrovert, oh, it's all good, but like deep down it's like there's some weird ass things going on, you know? So I don't know what that means. I mean, let's just clarify why the Queen of Pentacles in reverse is in your advice. Queen of Pentacles in reverse is clarified by the Page of Swords, the Nine of Cups, and the King of Pentacles here. That's interesting here. You know, this could have to do with negative synchronicity on the physical level. You know, the Page of Swords to the Nine of Cups here is an interesting frequency of you checking in with yourself. You know, am I really happy by myself? Or is what I'm doing making me happy? You also have the King of Pentacles here. So something to do with your money, and it's also about like you could be in partnership with someone having to do with money, where once again, someone is actually the one person that is benefiting from this way more than you are. You could be selling your soul for a crappy deal. At least it came with a few toys like a Happy Meal